Hi there guys, so today we're going back to the basics. Mental health in this country and across the world is in crisis. Um, the world we live in right now is very, very different to the world that I grew up in. And mental health is becoming more and more talked about. But it still isn't being talked about in the right way. And also men's mental health isn't being dealt with in the right way. Men have to get over the fact that you need to talk about your feelings and that there are some things that you cannot bury because you're a man. Doesn't work like that. Get over it. Women, you need to be able to accept your man's feelings, the men in your life's feelings, and take away the stigma that is around men's mental health. Women right now, you're living in a very difficult time, and it's difficult for men and women. I mean, men are getting seen as dangerous. They're scared to make a move without consequences. Are scared to do anything without consequences, and it's a very, very difficult time to live in as a man mentally. But also, that is derived of our own sexist fault. There are too many men out there that are doing the wrong thing that make women scared of us. And unfortunately, that yes, there is the case that it's not all men, and the good ones will be affected by the bad ones' behavior. And unfortunately, then that has had an effect on men's mental health, because they will then have feelings about this that they can't speak about because, again, they're scared of consequences, and it's a vicious circle. There's no quick fix to this, but I tell you what there is a fix to, is you can start talking about how you feel, and you can start opening up to people and having feelings. And if you are struggling, then you need to seek help. That isn't going to change the situation with the world. It isn't going to change the fact that women are predominantly more scared of men now than they were previously. But unfortunately, I've said unfortunately a lot through this. That's also a factor of social media and the news. Because if you think 30, 40 years ago, the things that are happening now were probably still happening then, but you weren't getting told about it, and it getting shoved down your throat every second of every day. Unfortunately, now you are. Which means fear-mongering does happen, and by all means, I am not saying that women do not have the right to be afraid when there is a man walking behind them at night or approaching them, or even during the day for that matter, because there is a lot of cases where the unthinkable happens. Majority of cases, nothing will happen, but you fear the worst, and that is going to play a massive part on your mental health. So the only way to tackle mental health nowadays would be that we all have to open up and talk, and stop being so fucking dismissive of each other. Like, you have an opinion, that's fine. Someone else can have a different opinion, different belief. That's going to play a massive... The woke generation, as they call it, are allowed to say whatever they want, but then nobody else is allowed to counter it. That doesn't work. If we were all a little bit more open, a little more accepting, a little bit more loving towards each other, mental health wouldn't be in such a dire situation that it is now. and there wouldn't be so many people struggling with mental health illnesses. Because let's get this right, everybody has mental health. There are things that will affect it positively, there are things that will affect it negatively. There are mental health illnesses. And for us to be able to drop that suicide rate, to improve mental health services, we have all got to be there to support each other. Because we are each other's first line of defense. Because we will see when things are not going how they should. And I think that's important to think about. The world is very distrusting and very hate-filled right now. And anything anybody can do to just lighten that a little bit, why wouldn't you? Make someone feel like they're not alone. Because a lot of the time we do feel alone. And our phones, our social medias, our introverted behaviors do not help this. And it's just about showing a little bit more love and a bit more compassion. And a little less hate. Anyway, having a great day, a great mental health day. I'll speak to you guys soon.